What's up, LG family? It is another week. That's right, another week as usual. Well, kind of as usual. Lately, it's been a little bit harder trying to push out videos. Real quick, as always, if this is your first time watching one of my videos, what's happening? Welcome to the channel. Greatly appreciate you being here. I can't say it enough, and I won't stop saying it, but it's always awesome to meet new people from not just around the state, the country, but around the world. It is so cool to be able to talk to some truckies out in Australia, brothers and sisters all the way out in Europe, different parts of Europe, and it's just great. It's awesome, so I appreciate it. And as always, you don't have to subscribe. It's not required, but I'd greatly appreciate it if you did, because it totally helps out the channel, so thanks a bunch. Subscriber count's going up, and I appreciate that. So, you can just maybe subscribe or whatever. Give it a thumbs up. Share. Definitely share. That helps out a lot. There was a big push in shares, and it made a difference, and I appreciate it. So thank you. And for those of you that return week after week, what is up? Happening? What's going on, LG family? You guys and gals are amazing. So thank you as always. Yes, I'm not sure if you've noticed it in my voice. I sound a little bit different, but this week I am sick. Started off the week strong. We headed out Sunday. I have a trainee with me. Get you guys caught up in that in a second. But yeah, we headed out Sunday and felt great. And then Monday morning, it was like, it hit me. Over Thanksgiving weekend, my wife had a bug, and I unfortunately caught her bug. I still have taste. Everything's fine, so it's not COVID. It is just your typical cold because the weather's getting crappy out. So that's what we've been dealing with. Trainee that I have with me, his name is Juan. I like to call him Little Hercules or El Papa because when he connected his phone to the Bluetooth radio, that's what he has his phone saved as, is El Papa. So give him a little bit of crap for that too. But yeah, he's doing phenomenal. As you guys can see, I'll just throw a quick little bit of the video. I did record a little bit, but not a lot. There's not enough to really make too much of a video off of. Because I just was completely out of it. Luckily too, my fleet manager was super awesome and amazing. He got me home Thursday, so that way I could have a couple days off to try to get this recouped. A lot of the nasty gooky stuff is finally gone. Just got to get the rest of the phlegm out, so that's enjoyable. But I didn't leave you guys with a video last week because of Thanksgiving week. It was really short, and there really wasn't much. And I didn't want to leave you guys hanging 2 weeks in a row, so we're gonna kind of do kind of a Q&A. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go through some of the comments from the YouTube channel, just questions that people have, just typical questions, and I'm just going to answer them. I know not a lot of people go sifting through the comments, so I figured, you know what, we just take these answers, we'll put them out there for everybody to see, so that way you don't have to go back and look for yourself. And yeah, so if this is something you're interested in, it's just going to be me sitting chitty-chatting, and so stick around. Maybe, you'll learn something, find something interesting. I'm only going to do for a few minutes just because, again, try to get over this. Just kicking my butt. And, yeah, so let's go ahead. We'll roll the intro real quick, and then we'll answer some of you guys' questions. All right, so this is pretty easy for the most part, or at least I think it's going to be easy for the most part. One thing I did want to show you guys. I picked up a new hobby. For those of you that personally do know me, I'm usually pretty big into video games, but lately just games, I don't know. It's like between work, YouTube, all that stuff, the merchandise and everything, it's kind of like, it's really hard to figure out where I'm going to throw my time, where I want to spend my free time. And so one of the things I was getting into is it's going to be hard for you guys to see, but I'm starting to do the Warhammer tabletop. right now I'm just learning how to put the pieces together and painting the pieces. It's a work in progress, and I realize how shaky my hands are, and this is incredibly difficult to do with shaky hands. So it's a learning experience, but it's been a lot of fun so far. So just in case, I don't know, anybody cares, that's what I've been doing in my free time when I do have free time, is I'm starting to paint those. So it's addictive. It's a lot of fun. All right, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of go down. I'm going to grab a couple questions throughout the past couple of months that people have been asking, and I'm just going to share them along. And yeah, this is how we're gonna wing it. Now, I did get a question just a few days ago, and I actually do. This is definitely something I want to talk about, because a lot of people do ask me out in public and stuff like that, like about the different divisions at TMC, because TMC does have different divisions, or specialties, I guess. A couple of different ones that some people may or may not notice. All right, we have a boat division. All right, those drivers, they just haul boats. There's a couple different companies that TMC hauls for, so those drivers haul for those companies, obviously. Now, I don't know too much about the boats, obviously, because I don't do boats. But boat guys, I guess it just depends on where they live, really, about their revenue, stuff like that. They are cents per mile. And their cents per mile do work a little bit differently, just because of the companies that they haul for, or the boat companies that they haul for. So what we used to do back in the day is we used to call that the retirement division. We did that because it's for like the older guys, or it used to be for the older guys. They've really been ramping up trying to get more drivers into it, but it's all like drop and hook. It's all RGNs, trailers, those really low boys, the ones that sit really close to the ground. And yeah, they got all those boats, and those boys, man, they go all over coast to coast, to tippy corners all over. They go all through Canada. They go out to Newfoundland. That's pretty crazy. I've seen videos. That stuff is beautiful. I'm going to tell you, if they would let me just do the Newfoundland run, I would love to do that. It pays really good, and you get to drive or ride in a ferry for a lot of it. So that's pretty trippy. But yeah, so the question that I got the other day was from Chris, and his question was, have you ever pulled a wagon or a kind of stugger for TMC? Are those divisions higher paying than regular flatbed with percentage pay? So I have never pulled a kind of stugger, a covered wagon, none of that stuff. I have always been line haul for TMC. I've always had just a regular 48-foot flatbed. There's been a couple times I've pulled around a 53-footer, but it's been very rare. But I guess this is going to be up to personal opinion as far as how it pays. Now, I know some people, they come straight into TMC and they get into those divisions right off the bat. So as far as what those pay, they're just used to it. But from what I've been told, or from what I've seen, is there's kind of like a fixed rate. Like, you have a guaranteed how much you're going to make per week. You can always make more. It just means hauling more loads, so they'll be typically like, you're going to make 1,200 and $1,250 a week, right? That's your minimum, is $1,250 a week. And then if you squeeze in a couple extra loads, then, you can obviously bump that up. Now, going off of just the $1,250 a week as a line haul driver, I have tons of weeks where I make a lot more than $1,250 a week. Again, for me, I also personally have some deductions like child support, stuff like that. So there is a good chunk that gets taken out of my paycheck each week. And so it's, that's life, right? But yeah, if I was making $1,250 a week with child support and all of my deductions, I pay extra for insurance, stuff like that. Yeah, I would not be seeing a lot of money. It would be chump change. So obviously for me, line haul works the best. Do I have some crappy weeks? Yeah, it happens. You might have a week where it just seems like nothing's going right. Customers are taking forever. Loads are falling through. There's mechanical issues, stuff like that. And there's just only so much you could do to plan for it. So there are some weeks where I might actually make less than $1,250. It's very rare, but it happens. But for the most part, I can make a considerable more than $1,250 a week. And so that's why I've never done those. Also, the reason why I've never done any of those is because it's the same thing over and over. And that drives me bananas. I can't do that. I can't drive the the same routes, see the same customers over and over and over. It's not me. I like variety. Yes, I might go to the same place and pick up from the same place a lot of times, but like the Grove that you guys have seen in some of my videos, I can go to the Grove 100 times and go to like 100 different customers. And even to this day, they're still sending me to places that I've never been to, so it's crazy. Kind of like the load that we have now, you guys know nothing about, but that's where we're going to be dropping off Monday morning. Is in Wisconsin. We got a Grove load, and it's going to a customer I've never been to. So again, it's awesome. So it just depends on what you're looking for. If you want a guaranteed amount, a guaranteed minimum, if that really is something that you're shooting for, definitely look into the divisions if you come to TMC. And if you like repetition, then again, check out the divisions. That might be something you guys are interested in too. All right. So a couple more questions, just recent questions. One was actually a comment that I saw from Jonathan that said, "Can't believe they made you tarp those totes. I see those type of loads all the time in Ohio." Yes. The reason why I had to tarp those totes, and I think he's referring to, which one was that? Oh, yeah, he was referring to the liquid salt. The only reason why I ended up having to tarp those is because it's what we like to call tarping season. Now that winter's kicking in, snow's kicking in, guess what? Guess what they do when the snow hits the ground? They put road salt on the roads. Duh. And customers don't want the road salt on their product. That's literally the only reason. A lot of these loads that you guys see me during the summer don't have to tarp. You're going to see a lot more tarping in the wintertime. And again, it's just strictly because of the road salt. They don't want that stuff getting on their product, eroding it, all that good stuff. So a lot of these non-tarp loads from November until March are going to become tarp loads. That's usually how it runs because of the winter. So yeah, it's just how the job goes. That's whatever. I mean, almost 8 years now of doing it. Doesn't really affect me anymore. Someone was talking about in another video, one of a kind, when I had Kev with me, he was talking about how the chains weren't long enough, or I said something about the chains weren't long enough. And he asked about hooking chains together. I'm trying to remember what video it was. I can't remember it off the top of my head, but by the time I edit this, I'll put a link right up there for you guys. There's a video where I actually show you guys how to do that. Now, the big thing is yes, you can hook chains together, but there is a really strict rule to doing that. You can't put hook on hook, right? You can't do that. That's a big no. Now, the hooks can hook onto like the rest of the chain, and that's fine. You can do that. But also when you are doing that, it's really highly recommended that now because you have the two chains hooked together, is that you put a ratchet on both chains. So that way the chains tighten down properly. You don't want to hook two chains together and only tighten down on one chain. You're going to have to tighten down on both chains. So just keep that in consideration if you have to. The most common thing is, again, wire mesh, especially if you have to use chains as a belly, which is definitely encouraged. If you haven't hauled wire mesh, you'll see why the first time you haul it. But yeah, so you just got to make sure that you put two binders, or put a binder for each chain if you have two chains hooked up together. If you guys get what I'm saying. All right, so there was another comment from a little back, about a month back, and it was a comment on the video, just the basics. And the comment was essentially, from Herbert? Hey, you make it a temptation to give TMC a try, but I know it's a whole different ball game from watching you do it on the video. You make it look easy, bud. Yes, I make it look easy, but that's just because it's come with practice. It's come with time. It's something that I try to stress to all my trainees, and I try to stress to new drivers. And it's not just a TMC thing, it's a flatbed thing. And I mean, even with box van drivers, even when you're new, things are going to be hard at first, and it comes with time. And that's the big thing. I try to explain that to all my trainees. One of the big things that a lot of trainees notice, and you guys don't really notice because obviously of all the editing, is I harp on repetition a lot, and I nitpick every single little detail. And a lot of trainees just think that I'm being a prick or I'm being an asshole, which is fair. I mean, that's how it comes off. But really, the only reason for it is because if you continuously do it over and over and over and over, the 5 weeks that you're in my truck, and I just keep putting that into your head, when you get in your truck, what are you going to do? You're going to do the exact same thing over and over and over and over, but it's already built in, and it gives you that repetition. And that's the big thing is, and I try to stress that again with my trainees all the time, is like, it's going to be hard, right? You don't run right off the bat, right? The whole, you gotta crawl, walk before you run. And that's the exact same thing with this job. And a lot of people get frustrated. Hell, I got frustrated when I first started with TMC, when I first started with trucking. I was slow. I could be the first TMC driver in there and I'd be like the fifth one out, it happened. But if you can push through that within just the first couple of months, you're going to pick it up. And it also comes down to your personality and who you are, right? I have some trainees that struggled for a couple months. And then after like 3 months, man, they had it. They were flying. And then I've had some trainees where it's just like after 2 weeks, they were bam, taking off. And it just depends whether, I guess if they take my teaching style as less as being an asshole and more just kind of really nitpicking, like you all know Frank, right? From the videos. And if you don't, you totally need to watch the videos with Frank. Frank is a trip. But one of the big things Frank said when he got out of my truck was that he would sleep when he was sleeping at night and he could just hear my voice in his head talking about trip plan. Because that was something that he needed to work on the most was trip plan, and I constantly nitpicked him on it. And it made a world of difference because every time he was like, hey, I got a trip plan. And what really helped him was he went dedicated. So then he's going to all these same customers over and over and over. Well, he's already done all the trip planning. So now he's starting to memorize the routes, and it's just become a lot easier for him. And so that's the big thing is, tons of people all the time talk about how they watch my videos. And if you watch my videos, even the parts where I fast forward through all the securement, you will see a routine, a pattern, the exact same thing that I do. I constantly start at the same point on the trailer. I constantly make the same laps going back and forth. And it's if you really pay attention, you can see that there's a repetition to it. And that's what makes me so fast. And that's what makes this job so easy is because no matter what lumber load, I have the same repetition for it. Same with insulation and shingles, and it doesn't matter where I'm picking up, what the brand is. That's completely irrelevant. It's the exact same setup every time. It's just a different color, just a different name. And if you just memorize that, then boom, every time you do it, it's just like that. Just boom, boom, boom. You're just getting it. And so that's why it looks so easy. And again, it wasn't easy when I first started. So just keep that in mind. Okay, so the last thing that I think I'll bring up, I'm going to kind of just, there's a lot of comments on like winter driving. I'm going to kind of just roll it all up into just kind of one answer. The question essentially is just like, what's it like during the winter as far as, freight, wait time, weather, stuff like that. Because winter is here and it's, I guess it's not kind of. It's definitely the most dangerous time for driving because that white stuff hits the ground, especially for you southern folks that don't know a lot about snow. I'll clue you in. Snow, one, it's cold. And two, it's very slippery. So keep that in mind. You can't just be hauling down the interstate on snow. That's not good for you or anybody around you. So keep that in mind for you new drivers down south that have never dealt with the snow. It is slippery, wet. And snow starts to impact, or snow starts to settle down when you're hitting like 35 degrees or below. And then you got black ice, which usually hides underneath the snow, and that's under 30 degrees. Usually varies. Well, it's got its guaranteed temperatures, but usually I start paying attention, especially if I hit like 25 degrees. I'm really thinking about black ice. And no matter how many wheels you got, that stuff will send you flying. So keep that in mind. Now, as far as wait times, or if it slows down, I've never seen a dip in my paychecks. When I was new, I did, but that was because I was new. But now that I've been doing this for a while now, be 8 years next year. Woohoo. Now that I've been doing this for a while, no, I've never seen a dip in my paycheck. I've seen a little bit longer wait times, but that's about it. The big thing you need to know is when you're doing flatbed, a lot of the product that we're hauling is building materials. And obviously, during the winter, who's going to be doing a lot of building on their houses? Not a lot, obviously, because it's snow. So a lot of that typical freight that we're used to or accustomed to during the summer starts to slow down. Now, things that don't slow down is, like metal products. For instance, when I used to live in the Northeast, there's a lot of coil plants up there, a lot of aluminum coil plants and stuff like that. And they don't slow down. They keep going year round. And it was great being in the Northeast with all those plants because my wait time there was no wait time because you got all these coils that need to get places. You need to be making, they're making parts for cars. They're making Coke cans, Pepsi cans, stuff like that. So and that stuff doesn't stop. That doesn't slow down just because of the snow. So as far as your variety kind of goes down a little bit. Not as much building materials or building products, for like housing and stuff like that. But definitely a lot more goes up in like steel products and aluminum products, stuff like that for, that stuff, I guess, for car parts and soda cans and stuff like that. So you'll start to see a lot more of that. Which also in the springtime, which is pretty good, the springtime really picks up. And the reason why springtime really picks up is because building, right? Installation, shingles, stuff like that. Because of the winter, a lot of damage during the winter, snowstorms, blizzards, stuff like that. Wear and tear in the houses. So as soon as springtime hits and people can start building, boom, all that stuff is just like, wow, it's off the shelves and it's flying. So you do, especially in the springtime, you're going to do a lot more of the like shingles, insulation, stuff like that, because obviously people are getting back in the building. Yeah. So, I mean, I ranted there, but no. Another thing to keep in consideration too is a lot of people want to go down south during the winter, which I don't blame you. It's still warm down there. You don't have to deal with the snow. But you got to also keep in mind, guess who else goes down south for the winter? Owner ops, right? Owner ops don't want to be getting their truck all messed up in the snow. So a lot of them, they start going down south for freight. So you're going to have an influx of more drivers down south trying to pick up all this freight. So you're going to see freight kind of slow down south. So if you ever wonder, like, I guess if you're a southern driver and you're like, oh, you're full of shit because during the winter freight slows down. Well, yeah, because everybody's going down south to get out of the snow. So just keep that in mind for flatbed. Box van, you guys never slow down. You guys are hauling like food products, and you got Amazon. They're always in the way. It's such a pain in the ass. Worst drivers. I'm going to say it. If no one said it at this point on YouTube, you Amazon box van drivers, I hate you. I hate you so much. You guys are awful assholes. Just ruthless. I don't know where you guys learn to drive, and there might be a couple diamonds in the rough, wonderful drivers, but the lot of you can kiss my ass. You guys are horrible. So, if you're an Amazon driver and you're an LG family member, I love you, but I hate you. Amazon are the worst. The worst. And you're probably an Amazon driver and you're like, yeah, the rest of my colleagues are horrible. Yeah, they're just, I cannot stress how much I hate Amazon drivers. Just the worst. Yeah, so, okay, we've ranted enough. We've talked a little bit. Hopefully you guys found some of this useful. A couple other things. We still got merchandise for the winter. T-shirts, as you guys have seen on the website. Still got those T-shirts available. We're trying to add in other colors, but we got to get some of those shirts offloaded first before I can start adding in more colors. I have some more designs that I'm thinking about putting up on the website for the same shirt with just a different design. So I'll throw that up. Let me know what you guys think. We still have a few hats left. Once the hats are gone, they're gone. That's it. I'm looking at doing some stuff next year as far as like fundraisers, stuff like that. Like you guys have seen the pink hats previously for breast cancer awareness. That's something we're thinking about doing. Hopefully starting next year is putting those up for sale, and 100% of the proceeds will go to, you know, a breast cancer foundation. This purple hat, the purple hat is for veteran suicide awareness. I had made it, and I absolutely love wearing it. It's just what you guys have seen before, right? It's got the logo, but over here it has hashtag 22 a day. It's something that, I mean, really hits close to me as well. Being a veteran and having a lot of my friends end up offing themselves. So that's also something that we're going to be looking into trying to do next year. I've reached out to a couple different veteran organizations, trying to see if we can put something together to do some fundraising for that. So that's a couple of things that we're going to be trying to dive into next year with the channel. Add more variety of merchandise, add more fundraisers that we can do for, you know, breast cancer, autism, and suicide awareness. And then there's a couple playlists that I want to start. I know for the past few months things have kind of slowed down. I'll be real with you guys. It's been really hard trying to keep up with the videos. It's just channel growth, honestly, to tell you the truth. I know that it's a grind. I know it's going to take a little bit, but the channel is growing really slow, and you know, I guess it's ego, but I thought it would be a little bit bigger by this point. So it's hard. It's difficult. I'm not going to lie. So I greatly appreciate when everyone throws a kind word. It really does help. So I appreciate it. I told you guys, if it wasn't for you guys, this channel wouldn't exist anymore. You guys keep this channel going. Even for the trolls, I feel like you trolls, you really validate me. The fact that you give a shit to make fun of me or talk crap, believe me, you guys go up on my wall of trolls, of your comments, and I use those to motivate me to keep doing what I'm doing. So keep doing what you do, and I'll keep doing what I do. And one other thing is we do have the P.O. Box. We've had it for a while now. There's an official Lawful Giraffe P.O. Box. It's P.O. Box 425, Brownsburg, Indiana, 46112, right here. And that's in case you guys ever want to send anything. I know I talked about it in previous videos, but I'd like to get more license plates. So if anybody's got license plates anywhere in the world, and you want to send them to me, that'd be greatly appreciated. They're definitely going to help to decorate the office. And I don't know, like fan art. I don't know if that's a thing, but that'd be pretty cool. Get some fan art. So if you guys ever feel like you want to send anything, just send it there. And it will be opened. I'll open it on camera. I'll probably, like, if we start getting stuff in the P.O. box, I'll start doing like live videos of opening up the packages that you guys send so everybody can see. I think that'd be pretty cool. Trying to think. Anything else that I want to cover? No, that's pretty much about it. And yeah, so if you stuck around to this point, you're amazing. Awesome. I appreciate it. Sorry, it's not a typical video. But next week, hoping to feel a lot better, and we'll try to finish this year strong. December is my birthday month, so birthday's coming up. Super excited. Going to be the big 3-4. Woohoo! And my son's going to be the big 1-4. And that means he's getting a job. Yes! All right. I'll catch you all guys in next week's video. Later.